And on those dry tyres is a perfect opportunity for them to test the waters, if you pardon the pun, and a perfect chance for us to have a look at the grid and how it lines up. It's Boas Maximov on pole position ahead of Bran van der Weyken. Third place is Max Sadersky and fourth place is Luca van Leer. Fifth place is Leica van Berkel and sixth place is Storm van Rossum. Seventh place is Devra Mieta and eighth place is Boris Verheij. Ninth place is Kimi May and 10th place is Mohamed El Brazaki. 11th place is Bodane Blankenberg. 12th place is AJ Berggraf. 13th place is Leonel Munguia. 14th place is Emir Siadiowska, my apologies. 15th place is Naud den Engelsman. 16th place is Jur Drent. 17th place is Marieke Hiemstra. 18th place is Tom Rager. 19th place is Philip Hanser. 20th place is James van der Poel. And 21st is Sepp ter Horst. So our drivers then really making sure they've got heat into their tyres. They will do at this point. It's been relatively well compared to yesterday's qualifying sessions. It's night and day. It was lovely and warm yesterday. The track was lovely and warm. Little spots of rain here and there. However, on the whole, dry running all the way throughout. It's not quite a step into the unknown for the drivers. They have had their wet weather running, but this is the first pre-final that are running slick tyres only, which, well, of the option, I should say, of running slicks or wets, they're running slicks. So it will be interesting to see how our Max Juniors approach this first flying right-hander of turn one, down in towards the first hairpin at the second turn. But drivers now getting ready and getting into formation now. Once again, it's Boas Maximov who starts on pole position. Bran van der Weyken in second place. It's Max Sadersky in third. Luca van Leer completes the front two rows. And now they've got to get into 2x2 formation then. The tram lines are waiting for them at the start-finish line with the start lights red. If they go out, we go racing then. The revs are built up, and we're going round again. So a false start this time around. So drivers have to slow it down a little bit. And we go again. Another attempt at the race start. So just broke formation right out of the hairpin. And they've been sent for another lap here for a false start. So all those nerves as well on the formation lap as you make your way towards the final corner, they've dissipated at the moment. And I'll have to build that up again going into the final bends. So our Max Juniors coming up 10 minutes plus 2 laps. As they'll pass the double stationary yellows to get into formation. Last minute wiggles as well to get some heat into the tyres. They're going to need the heat. The track temperature is not as high as it was yesterday. Much cooler today. And already there, the 230 of Boas Maximov wants to start the race on his terms, in which case Van der Weyken has to hold back a little bit. But we make our way around the final corner for attempt number 2 at the race start. Up into the tram lines we go, look over the shoulders. We go racing, start approved, and Boas Maximov has lost out majorly there as we're all getting bunched up through the first corner. Down in towards the first hairpin we go, and all one across the grass, manages to stop, but gets going again. But Boas Maximov was at least down to 4th place at the first corner, and Van der Weyken in the number 296, I believe, has taken over the lead of this race then as we head in towards the back end of the circuit then. Van der Weyken knows that that start was so important. And Boas Maximov lost out big time there as we head our way through in towards the left-hander for the first time at racing speed. It's actually the 230 that's in the lead. So Boas Maximov has managed to get back up and running again. So, well, it's been a helter-skelter start. Nevertheless, it's Boas Maximov who leads the way then ahead of Swiderski in second place, Van Berkel in third. It could have been Van der Weyken that lost out on the start, and I might have picked the wrong driver. In any case, Maximov leads the way then. As you just see, a little bit of a kick up from the left rear from Van Rossum there, the number 238, as there's a move down the inside and a slam of the steering wheel there from, I think that was Swiderski, who I don't know if there's an issue, perhaps, but as we make our way through in towards the left-handers there, it's getting all sorts of close and up and coming. I think there's an issue here for Swiderski. He's slowed right down, and from second place, that's a huge letdown for Swiderski. Would explain the slap of the steering wheel as he made his way through those corners. Top two have managed to break away then. Boas Maximov leads the way, Van Berkel in second place. Then it's the 238 then of Van Rossum, who's up into third place and leading this long queue at the moment down in towards the hairpin. As we'll see drivers here, it's so difficult to make moves though. One move being attempted there down towards the hairpin. There was a bit of contact there further down the field, but we'll see if everyone facing the right way once again. As that is the 271, so that is Berggraf, who was fifth across the line last time around. And AJ Berggraf looking to get up the order from 12th place on the grid, so done a good job so far as AJ Berggraf. There's our top two through your picture, and then third place, the battle for it, heading our way through the picture as well. It's becoming a battle for fifth place at the moment, with AJ Berggraf having to look over the shoulder at the 284, but there's side-by-side action. There is the 284 down the inside. That's Luca Van Leer who gets a position there. The 296 running slightly wide then of Van der Weyken, getting a left rear tyre on the wet stuff. Not ideal when you're trying to keep those slick tyres in good condition there. Swap of positions down towards the tight left-hander out of the S's. And there's the 296 there following through at the moment. That's Van der Weyken, who's being chased down by Munguia in the number 291. As we head away then, leaders making their way across the line. Boas Maximov still leading, but Van Berkel in the number 285 is closing in. Luca Van Berkel closing in on our race leader Boas Maximov. But we see down towards the hairpin then, still this battle raging on right now. Side-by-side action perhaps then, as we make our way through the S's section. At least the first S's section, still side-by-side running. Lots of swapping and changing positions at this stage of the race. As it's all about trying to find where the grip isn't as well. That's what the formation lap would have been used for, so that drivers know if I'm going to make a move down the inside at this specific corner, I know I'm going to have a lot less grip because it's still pretty damp on that section. But through and towards the final corner we go then. It's the 284 who leads the way, and he's calling for working together. Luca Van Leer is not going to get that though, because Van der Weyken's up the inside then, down towards the first hairpin, and Bran Van der Weyken moves up into fourth place. Can he hold on to that position perhaps then? Van Leer maybe looking, seeing if there's an opportunity for a move down the inside, but no such opportunity turns up. But closing and closing here into the braking zones. It's timing here. You've got to make sure you pick your moments at this stage. In this battle for fourth place, flying through the left-hander. Race leaders making their way across the line now. The gap's sort of stabilised at the moment. Van Berkel sets the fastest lap of the race. Gap is less than 0.4 of a second in our battle for the lead. As we look further down, there's a move up the inside then, a bit of an up and under then. 291 tried to make the move stick. That was Lionel Munguia, but couldn't get the move done. And I think that is against Van Leer. So Van Leer has turned attack to defence now, and has had to do that to try and keep a hold of what is fifth place at the moment. And Munguia then in the 291, just applying that pressure through in towards the final couple of corners, through in towards the last corner at the hairpin, getting the power down. And that is a case of Boas Maximov leading the way and still under pressure then. A look down the inside from the 285 of Lieke van Berkel, but no way through there. Just giving Boas Maximov an option here to look over the shoulder and any essence and any semblance to take a different line. But Boas Maximov, who's been in strong form at the start of this season, knows that if he strays off the racing line, that is when the issues will start, with the damp track either side. In essence, Boas Maximov has got to ask Van Berkel the question of, if you're going to go for the move, you've got to take the damper parts of the track. Lead us then across the line with 3 minutes 32 on the clock then. It's a good run for Van Berkel. He moves to the inside then, down the inside of the first hairpin, grabs the inside line, grabs the apex, and grabs the lead of the race then. Lieke van Berkel takes over the lead from Boas Maximov as we head away through the S section, now in towards the left-hander. Boas Maximov here, that's a call to action there. There wasn't much between the top three in this qualifying session. And it's a case here for Maximov. He's got to make sure he keeps in distance here to Van Berkel. Van Berkel, who started in 5th place in this race. So he's done well to catch Maximov and pass Maximov through and towards the first corner. Gets a good run out of that hairpin, does Van Berkel. He's been capitalising on that lap after lap. And the previous lap was his time to say, I'm going to go for this race lead, and took it. The question now for Maximov is, does he have a reply? The best lap time suggests that Van Berkel is quicker than Maximov at this stage. Oh, and that's a car off. That's the 2:30. That's Boas Maximov, who's off onto the grass and lost a huge amount of time there. Now there's blue flags waving. We have Boas Maximov then, who's lost a couple of positions, and you just see that little bit of lapper. He has to look over the shoulder and just make sure that no other positions are lost. And Boas Maximov wanted to get back into the rhythm of things then, so it is the 2:38 that's moved ahead at Storm van Rossum. Up ahead now as Maximov works to try and find a way back through. He'll have to go the long way round, maybe the old up and under. No way through this time around. Perhaps his better exit can grab the inside line, but no way through that time around. Van Rossum here knows Maximov is behind. He knows that there's a chance here to really keep on. Van Berkel is 5 seconds up the road. So it's cost Boas Maximov a lot of time with that off-track excursion as they make their way onwards then through in towards the final corner. A bit of lappery up ahead. Across the line they will go then. This is apologies, that's Van Rossum and Van der Weyken. So Maximov now in 4th place. Apologies. There's a battle for 2nd here. Through in towards the S as we go then. On towards the sweeping left-hander. Maximov down to 4th place. Not ideal for him. But our battle for 2nd is very much on. It's the 2:38 here of Storm van Rossum. 3rd place is the number 296 of Bran van der Weyken. Van der Weyken started on the front row. Now we'd love to get back up there, at least to 2nd place, and see where he can go from there. As one driver peels off into the pits. I'm trying to see who that will be. But battling up towards the hairpin, and that's a move then from Maximov up the inside there, I believe, of Van der Weyken. So Maximov now up into 3rd place, that will be. Can he try for one more then, perhaps? With the Belgian up ahead of Van Rossum. Apologies, of Van der Weyken. So all line of stern at the moment. Then through the left-hander we go. Then it's a good line there. It is actually Van der Weyken who's ahead of Maximov. So Maximov made the move on Van Rossum. So Van Rossum drops from 2nd to 4th on that lap. A look over the shoulder then from Van der Weyken. Maximov closing and closing through the first corner. Down towards the hairpin we go. No way through this time around. We have 2 laps to go here. So not a lot of time for Maximov to see if he can find a way past Van der Weyken. through into the S's section we go here before the tighter left-hander. Sweeping section here. It's all about confidence through there. Confidence of the cart underneath you. The tyres will have the grip. Through the fast left-hander we go then. And then onwards towards the final hairpin. Is there a chance for Maximov? Well, 2:85 then starts the final lap of the race. Van Berkel with a comfortable lead at the moment. Maximov has got a good run though out of the final corner and onwards towards the hairpin. Does he go for a move up the inside? No, he doesn't. Down in towards the hairpin. And see what he can do on this lap. Or is it a case that Van der Weyken can hold on to that position? There is your race leader in Lieke Van Berkel. Lieke Van Berkel has done a remarkable job, kept it all under wraps at the moment as we make our way through the fast left-hander down towards the hairpin. We will go then for the final time in this pre-final. And for the Max Juniors then, he'll power his way across the line. Lieke takes the victory then. It's a very good victory for Lieke Van Berkel. Across the line, second place will be the 2.96 of Brand Van der Weyken. Third place is Maximov. Fourth place is Van Rossum. Fifth place, Van Leer. Verheyen, sixth place with the fastest lap of the race set on that final lap. So really nice job there from Boris Verheyen. At the end of that, El Bazaki in 7th place, Drentin 8th, May in 9th, Den Engelsman in 10th, Siadkowska in 11th place, Berggraf in 12th, Reger in 13th, Hansler 14th, Van der Poel 15th, Blankenberg in 16th place. It was Mungia perhaps I saw make the way in towards the pit lane there. There goes the 2:04 of Sepp ter Horst. Across the line takes 17th place, and across the line number 293 Marieke Hemstra to take the final finishing position of 18th place. But Lieke Van Berkel takes the victory by 5.8 seconds ahead of Brand Van der Weyken. Boas Maximov takes third with Storm Van Rossum in fourth, Luca Van Leer in 5th place, Boris Verheyen 6th, Mohamed El Bazaki in 7th place, Jure Drent in 8th place, Kimi May in 9th, and Naud Den Engelsman rounds off the top 10. Emir Siadkowska in 11th place, AJ Berggraf in 12th, Tom Rieger in 13th place, Philip Hansler in 14th place across the line there with Van der Poel, Blankenberg and ter Horst and Hemstra rounding off our finishing positions there. You can see non-starters and non-finishers, Lena Mungia, Max Swiderski we lost out in that race, and Devram Yeta, all non-finishers in that race. So 18 finishers to take the finish there, take the flag. Next up will be our Max Seniors, but a really nice drive then from Lieke Van Berkel.